What's up, guys? It is I, once again, Yusuf Al-Sanad, and welcome to another episode of the Movie Monday series created by Emily Boone. She's a very sweet, dear friend of mine. Please check her channel out. I'm going to put the link for her channel down below in the description box. And for this week's topic of the Movie Monday series, I'm going to be sharing with you guys and gals my top 5 movies from the years 2000 to 2009, movies that have left a big impact on yours truly, and movies I personally consider to be among the best films of the last decade. Just like the previous episodes of the Movie Monday series, I'm going to be ranking these movies based on a ranking system from number 5 to number 1, and here's how the list goes. At number 5, we have James Mangold's Walk the Line, which is a 2005 biopic / drama based on the life of Johnny Cash, the real-life country musician or rockabilly musician. Johnny Cash has been one of my all-time favorite musicians, not just when it comes to rockabilly or country music, but he's one of my all-time favorite musicians in general. I love his songs so much, and I love the relationship between he and June Carter, his wife June Carter Cash. Walk the Line details Johnny Cash's rise to fame, his drug addiction, and his personal demons which he had suffered from, all of which stemmed from the death of his older brother, which has left a huge hole in his heart, which took many years to heal. One of the most important parts of Johnny Cash's career, which helped him get back on his feet and found God and to become a newly born Christian and a very good man once more, was June Carter. It was not just the music, it was not just Johnny Cash's passion for the music in terms of rockabilly or country, but it was his love and his connection towards June Carter that brought the best out of him. Johnny Cash once described June Carter as his best friend and his only real companion, and I feel the very same about someone who's very dear to my heart. So this movie, I love it not just for the biopic, I love it not just for the country music or the rockabilly music. I love the fact that James Mangold put so much emphasis on the relationship between June Carter and Johnny Cash, centering around his rise to fame, his fall from grace, and him coming back up once more to become a better man and a better human being as a newly born Christian. Walk the Line is one of the most beautiful biopics I've ever seen, probably the most beautiful biopic I've seen personally speaking, but Walk the Line is one of my all-time favorites, and it ranks at number 5. At number 4, we have Roman Polanski's The Pianist, which is a 2002 real-life story on the life of this pianist who comes from Poland. I'm very sorry, guys and gals, I can't pronounce this man's name because his name is so hard to pronounce, but this man is from Poland, and he is played by Adrien Brody, a really underrated great actor I love, who was also in the 2009 science fiction drama Splice, in which he gave a truly phenomenal performance. Adrien Brody in Roman Polanski's The Pianist plays, of course, a pianist who goes through the Holocaust after losing his family during the events of World War II, one of the most horrific wars in mankind's history. After having lost his family, this man tries his very best to survive the war as best he can, trying to find food, trying to scavenge whatever resource he can, searching for jobs which people can offer him during this time, and trying to hide the fact that he is a Jew, because Jews during this time were persecuted and were treated very unjustly. So you can only imagine how hard it must be for this man and many people during this time, especially if you're a Jew. Jews have gone through so much during this period, and the fact that this man lost his family and lost everyone close to his heart, all this man can really do is hope to survive, and hopefully he can see the light of day. Roman Polanski's The Pianist is one of the best films I've seen, and without question one of the most inspiring films that stands toe-to-toe with James Mangold's Walk the Line. Both of these films are so inspiring and tell truly compelling human stories, which I love so much. The Pianist is a very heartbreaking story, but it's also one that's very inspiring. As tragic and heartbreaking as this film can be, this film is ultimately one of the most inspiring films films I've ever seen in my entire life, and it's one I'm very glad to have seen. Roman Polanski's The Pianist is an absolute masterpiece. At number 3 we have Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood. Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood was released in 2007, and it's a drama that focuses on the life of this man, Daniel Plainview, who is played by one of the all-time best actors and one of my personal favorites, Daniel Day-Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis as Daniel Plainview is truly amazing. He is truly magnetic in his performance. He plays this man who at first you think is a hard-working, good man who cares about his son and cares about the people who he's trying to dig oil from. Oil, which is a natural resource located on this farm, a farmland which Daniel Plainview had purchased and hopes to extract the oil from. Daniel Plainview puts up this facade and act basically of him playing a good, hard-working man who loves his son and cares about the people, but Daniel Plainview at heart is a very sinister, evil man, a man who is truly the embodiment of evil when it comes to business. Paul Thomas Anderson wrote this character so well. Daniel Plainview is so good at coming off as someone who is very trustworthy, but Daniel Plainview is the exact opposite of that. And the same can be said about this man, a religious fanatic, a priest who is played by Paul Dano, Eli Sunday. Eli Sunday, just like Daniel Plainview, is a very sinister man, but unlike Daniel Plainview, who is a businessman, Eli Sunday uses religion and uses the word of God in his manipulative mind to try to manipulate the people and try to bring them to his flock. Eli Sunday represents so many religious fanatics just like him, who uses religion the wrong way, misinterprets the word of God, and manipulates the people wrongfully so that he can achieve status just like Daniel Plainview. Both of these men are very greedy, very selfish, and truly evil men who manipulate people in their own way, but Daniel Plainview, for some reason, we are able to understand what goes on in his psyche, how his mind works, and why he hates people so much. Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood is a truly dark film, a dark film which shows the darkest part of the human heart, of the human soul. The fact that this guy is our main character, and the fact he is as sinister and cruel as he is, just like Eli Sunday, it makes it very hard to root for him or to care about him, especially how he treats his young son, H.W. Plainview. I don't think it's Paul Thomas Anderson's intention making There Will Be Blood for us to care about Daniel Plainview necessarily, but we have to follow him and we have to understand what goes on in his mind and how we interpret his story and what he's done. It's left to us, the audience, to see how the story unfolds and to see whether or not what he does is right or wrong. And this movie, guys, is an absolute masterpiece. Paul Thomas Anderson's There Will Be Blood is one of my all-time favorite movies and one I love so much. At number 2 we have Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth. I've discussed Pan's Labyrinth in the past, so I won't go into any more detail as to why I love this movie so much. I will say though that Pan's Labyrinth is a truly beautiful film, one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen personally, and in my personal opinion, Pan's Labyrinth is the best fantasy film ever made. Guillermo del Toro has made many amazing films, and Guillermo del Toro is one of my all-time favorite directors slash writers or storytellers. He has made such films like Cronus, The Devil's Backbone, Hellboy 1, Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. Del Toro has also made Pacific Rim and his most recent work, which is Crimson Peak. All of his movies I love so much, but this film right here, this amazing fantasy drama, Pan's Labyrinth, is without a doubt the best film he's made, and without question one of my all-time favorites. Pan's Labyrinth is a truly beautiful story, which is a great odyssey of this young girl, Ophelia. Ophelia is such a sweet, beautiful, charming young girl who we follow in her journey, and her experiences has left a huge impact on yours truly, like I imagined it did others. Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth is so great for many reasons, but one of the main reasons in my mind is Ophelia's story, what she goes through during this time of war in her country, and how her experiences dealing with the reality and the fantasy part of her world, and how both worlds coincide with each other, which is why Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth ranks at number 2. And finally, my number 1 pick is the Coen brothers' 2007 crime thriller, No Country for Old Men. No Country for Old Men is a truly phenomenal film. A truly phenomenal film which was ranked by 137 critics. You heard me, guys and gals. 137 critics all around the world as one of the best films of the last decade, and for very good reasons. No Country for Old Men is a great thriller. It's a great crime drama. It's a great study on humanity and the darkest parts of humanity. Upon first viewing, No Country for Old Men can come off as a very nihilistic film, and how evil is everywhere. Evil which is reincarnated in the form of Anton Chigurh, a serial killer who's truly intimidating, and a serial killer who's going to leave chills down your spine. This man is played so well by Javier Bardem. Javier Bardem has given many performances in his career, both in Spanish movies and English films, but this movie is without question his best work, in which he plays one of three central characters, that being Anton Chigurh, the scary serial killer himself, but you also have two other characters in Josh Brolin, who plays Llewellyn Moss, and you have Tommy Lee Jones, who plays the Sheriff Ed Tom Bell. In the Coen brothers' No Country for Old Men, the three main focus are Ed Tom Bell, Llewellyn Moss, and Anton Chigurh. Anton Chigurh, who represents death, Llewellyn Moss, who represents all of us, which is people trying to live life and trying to endure whatever obstacles that come before us. Anton Chigurh serves as Llewellyn Moss's most challenging obstacle. Anton Chigurh is truly Satan in human form. What Anton Chigurh does in this movie is truly frightening. It's going to leave you cold. It's going to leave a huge impact on you, whether good or bad. But No Country for Old Men is a very dark film, and we see how dark this world can be through the point of view of Sheriff Ed Tom Bell, who is played fantastically by Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee Jones plays his age so well in this film. He shows how old and tired he is of everything that goes on in this world, how he longs for the ways things used to be, because Tommy Lee Jones's character Ed Tom Bell is living in the past. He wants things to be back the way they used to be, where in his mind everything is sunshine and rainbow, but it's not that way, guys, because humanity has both the good and bad sides of the world. Sometimes the bad sides can be very overwhelming, but we have to keep our focus on the good parts of the world, the good parts which really do define us as human beings and how we can make things better, which is what Ed Tom Bell does not understand, because Ed Tom Bell, like I mentioned, is old, tired, and he's lived a long life where he's seen so many deaths, so many corpses, and he's just had it, guys. He's so tired, he may as well put himself out of his misery for all he cares. I forgot to mention that No Country for Old Men is based on the novel by Cormac McCarthy. I'm a huge fan of Cormac McCarthy. I love The Road, I love No Country for Old Men, All the Pretty Horses, but without question the best work he's ever written is Blood Meridian. Blood Meridian is a truly amazing book, and without question in my mind, Cormac McCarthy's best work. It's very hard in cinema to adapt or translate a book into a movie. No Country for Old Men is a true example of how to adapt a story on the big screen. I cannot provide you guys and gals a reason as to why I love this movie so much, besides the reasons I mentioned, but No Country for Old Men is a truly amazing film. I do recommend you guys and gals watch all the movies on this list. Definitely the Coen brothers' No Country for Old Men. But thank you guys and gals for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe if you wish, and do check out the channels of both Emily Boone and Rachel Wagner. I'm going to add the links for their channels down below in the description box. If you guys and gals want to see more from me, then please check out my gaming channel where I do Let's Play series, gaming content, all that kind of good stuff. Until next time, peace out, take care, adios, amigos, au revoir, and sayonara.